Hey everyone, this is a new series on JavaScript, and I'm going to talk to you about how to. When we talk about JavaScript, there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to go over with you, and JavaScript is one of the three pillars. I'm going to call the three pillars of web development. And over the years, I've been programming JavaScript for close to 20 years now. The JavaScript programming language has evolved a lot. What used to be what started out back in the internet world with it, it's a totally different JavaScript today as it was 20 years ago with it. And it used to be more of a client-side JavaScript programming language. In today's world with it, it's coming, what we use is the ES6 with it. It is a programming object-oriented language with it. So there's an entire course that I teach in JavaScript. It's ITSE 1311 with it. It's a totally different course today as it was 15-20 years ago with it, because the language has changed so much with it. So in this course, in this section, I just plan to show you enough to get started how it fits into the web world with it. So that's what I want you to understand is with it. So here I am. I'm in Visual Studio. What I'd like for you to do in this exercise is you can click on a new folder. On here, create a new folder. It's arbitrary what's the date that I use in this folder with it. So it's up to you, depending on the semester and the time and the date with it. But use today's date with today's parameter with it. If you could, I'm going to use 03, I'm sorry, today's April the 1st, 04, 01, 20. Again, this varies from semester to semester with it. Use whatever date that you use. The parameter that I'm using is 04, 01, 20, meaning April 1st, 20. No special characters in there at all with it. This is in your subdirectory with it. Just hit enter. And inside that directory, I'm going to go inside that directory. I'm going to right mouse click on it. I'm going to come down, and if you could just click on that folder for me with it and come up here and click on new file. You're going to call this thing task. This is for class exercise number 7. So I'm going to ask you to do task uppercase T task A dot HTML. Task A uppercase T uppercase A dot HTML. No spaces or special characters in between. Just one word with it. Hit enter for me. And it looks like this. Looks like this right now with it. Let me zoom in a little bit so you could or change the magnification. I need to do some word wrapping in this thing. So if you come down here and you toggle down here, toggle word wrap, make sure you have word wrap with it as well. Let me zoom in so you can see a little bigger on what I'm doing with it. So one of the first things I'm going to talk to you about is that let's get a hello world. Anytime when you do any programming language that's starting out with it, remember our HTML that we do is a hello world with it. So just start with your skeleton for me if you could. Just do if you could just do your again that skeleton. I'm going to just do IntelliSense with it, and in here what you're going to do is, again, you start with your skeleton with it. In between that, you recall there is a head tag with it, but I'm going to skip that. If you want to do your head tag, that's fine. Then you have your title. Let's say this is Hello World. Or shall we say Hello JavaScript? How's that? A little change and a little different with that as well. So in the body of the section of the tag, so this is where I'm going to come in. Let me talk to you about a little bit. But we're going to do a first one. We're going to do is the ID. Call the ID called demo. As we change through the demo with this paragraph tag, that's the attribute that I'm going to use in here. With it is here's P, and is the paragraph tag. Let's do something else with it. Let's do a header tag, so we just know that what we're doing in this section is what can JavaScript do for us. Alright, So in here, I'm gonna start out with a couple of things I'm gonna talk to you about. The first one is we're gonna do a P tag as a paragraph tag. I'm doing ID, okay, which is, remember when we talk about different type of tags, we have IDs and we have class and we have definitions of a tag with it. I'm gonna do an ID. This is ID is only one ID, something unique. I'm gonna call this thing demo. I'm gonna come close out of this with it. I'm gonna use JavaScript. JavaScript can change HTML. All right, content. How's that? Okay, come to the right of that, closing of that. It looks like this right now. So we're gonna go in. I'm gonna put in a button. All right, I'm gonna do type. Is gonna be button. When I click on this button, unclick, hit tab, and one of the things I'm going to talk to you about is whether it is a single quote or a double quote. It doesn't really matter what I use here with it, but just to keep it consistent, I always like to use the unclick with this, and you can click on it. I'm going to use the single quote out here with it. And inside of this, I'm going to nest in the double quote in this thing with it. So if you notice here, I did the button here, and I'm going to use document object with it. That's what we call, bear with me with the verbiage on this thing. And I hit the dot syntax. I'm going to do get elements by ID, okay, which is this one right here. All right, and then I'm going to pass across. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to pass across, let me move this a little bit so you can see this a little better. I'm going to pass inside of this, I'm going to pass the demo, close the apostrophe on the other end of this, close that off with it, alright? Now, it doesn't matter. Wait, now, let me do since I did the outside, so I just want to differentiate between the single quote and the double quote. I want to put a double quote in the inside of this, and I'm going to do dot inner HTML. Now the inner HTML is a method, not a method, kind of like an object that if you notice, let me do this again so you can see inner, and anytime when you see a little cube like this is an object that comes with the library file. That's the inner HTML that you're going to use with it as well. So it's going to equal to, I want to pass across the quote of hello, the string hello, JavaScript, some sort of expression like this, and come to the right of that double quote. I'm going to put a single quote to close that off. So let me close off this particular tag like that. Alright, so inside of that I just want to do click me, a message like that. Alright, now let me zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. Alright, can y'all see that? Sorry, I had to back up so you can see the whole list of tags here. So what you have, let me walk you through this set of code here, okay? So here's your button attribute. And then your next one is you have to type as a button on there with it. This is the type, it's a little square button that you hit. And we're going to do on click is an attribute. When you click on the on click, we're going to use the single apostrophe document dot get element by ID. I want to pass across it the double quote in a parentheses with this equal to hello JavaScript in double quotes with it, and outside of that, this quote right here, this I want to see if I'll show you this. This single quote is the closing of that single quote. Does that make sense? This double quote is for the hello JavaScript. Alright, so make sure you have your single quote and your double quote at the right place with this. Alright, so that's it. That's something very simple with this, and I'm going to pause the video right now with it because we're approaching 10 minutes. I don't like anything to do more than 10 minutes with it, but let me pause this video. Before I pause, I'm going to Control S, saves it, right? And then I'm going to come over to my little, make sure you have your live server installed. You see this? Okay. live server installed with it. And if you come over to go back to your Explorer with it, find that file, right mouse click on it, open live server for me. And it should show you this screen right here. Let's see. It looks like this. Alright. So this is what it looks like when you click me. You should switch to hello script with it. Alright. Let me refresh that. So JavaScript can change the HTML. This is the content of that, right? That we had on the paragraph tag on the top with that. And now I click me, it changes the content of that. So that's what I want to show you, right? So this is the first kind of hello world exercise we did. So let me pause